in the heart of New Haven's bustling spaceport, where the neon lights flickered like the last gasps of hope against the encroaching darkness. Greg made his way through the throngs of refugees and outcasts. Each step was measured, betraying none of the urgency that thrummed through his veins. The air was thick with the scents of exotic spices and the electric tang of ionized engines, a testament to the spaceport's role as a nexus for those fleeing the iron fist of the People's Republic of Free Worlds. Greg's eyes, deep-set and shadowed, scanned the crowd with a practiced ease. They were the eyes of a man who had seen too much yet refused to close them in resignation. His face, lined with the passage of years and the weight of untold stories, remained impassive as he navigated the chaos of New Haven. Here, on the fringes of the galaxy, the oppressive surveillance of the People's Republic was a touch lighter, but the fear it instilled was no less palpable. His destination was a discreet hangar, tucked away in the less reputable quarter of the spaceport, where the gleam of the neon lights didn't reach. Here, the air was heavy with the promise of clandestine deals and the quiet desperation of those seeking to escape the ever-watchful eyes of the Republic. Rena, captain of the Phantom's Edge, was waiting. Her reputation as a skilled smuggler and pilot was well known in the circles Greg frequented. The ship, a testament to her skill and defiance, bore the scars of countless narrow escapes and daring runs. It was to be the vessel for his final mission, a journey shrouded in secrecy and fraught with peril. The initial exchange between Greg and Rena was tense, a dance of mutual suspicion and unspoken questions. Greg's proposal was audacious, a voyage to a set of coordinates where, by all accounts, nothing existed. Yet there was something in the old man's demeanor, a resolve that spoke of more than a fool's errand, compelling Rena to listen. "I need passage to these coordinates," Greg said, sliding a data chip across the table. "No questions asked, and discretion is paramount." Rena eyed the chip, then Greg, her curiosity piqued despite herself. "This is deep into uncharted space. What's out there?" Greg's gaze was unwavering, his voice steady. "Hope, or perhaps just ghosts. But it's a journey I must make." The price was steep, reflecting the risk of the endeavor, but Greg paid without haggling. A part of Rena admired him for it, the quiet determination of a man on a mission, whatever it might be. She agreed to the journey, setting in motion events that would lead them into the heart of the unknown. As the Phantom's Edge prepared for departure, Greg stood alone, looking out at the tapestry of stars that stretched into infinity. His thoughts were a tumultuous sea, memories of fallen comrades and battles lost swirling with the flicker of hope that this final act might yet kindle a flame to pierce the darkness of the Republic's tyranny. The ship's engines hummed to life, a low thrum that felt like a heartbeat against the silence of the hangar. Greg turned away from the vista, his resolve hardened. This journey was the culmination of a lifetime of resistance, a final gambit in the face of overwhelming odds. As the Phantom's Edge lifted off, slipping silently into the star-strewn night, Greg felt the weight of the years fall away. Ahead lay the unknown, and perhaps the first true hope in decades. The spaceport of New Haven receded into the distance, becoming nothing more than a flicker of light against the vast canvas of space. Greg settled into the journey, his mind awash with plans and the ghosts of the past. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but for the first time in a long while, the flicker of hope burned bright in the darkness. The journey through hyperspace was a tense tapestry of shadow and light, as the Phantom's Edge weaved its way through less traveled lanes that snaked across the galaxy. Greg spent the hours in quiet contemplation, his gaze often fixed on the swirling vortex of hyperspace, beyond the viewport. The crew, sensing the gravity of their mission, afforded him a respectful silence, though curiosity burned in their eyes. Rena navigated the ship with a deft hand, her focus unwavering as they dodged the occasional patrol or surveillance drone that ventured too close. The coordinates Greg had provided led them far from the well-charted routes, into sectors of space that few dared to tread. With each passing day, the tension aboard the Phantom's Edge grew, a tangible thing that seemed to hum alongside the ship's engines. Finally, they emerged from hyperspace, the stars rearranging themselves into the familiar patterns of real space. Before them lay their destination, a point in space where, according to all known maps and sensors, nothing should exist. Yet, as Rena piloted the ship closer, a massive silhouette began to emerge from the shadows of a nebula, its form gradually revealing itself as a derelict military transport, the Aegis Valor. Greg stood before the crew, the weight of decades etched into his features. "This ship," he began, his voice carrying a depth of emotion that commanded attention, "is a relic from a rebellion long past. A rebellion I led against the People's Republic of Free Worlds." The revelation hung heavy in the air, a bombshell that shattered the crew's perception of the old man who had chartered their ship. Greg, the quiet passenger with haunted eyes, was in reality a legendary figure, presumed dead by the galaxy at large. The Aegis Valor was to be our final play, a fleet of battle-ready robots capable of turning the tide against the Republic. But we were betrayed, and the ship was lost, hidden here until the time was right. Rena and her crew listened in stunned silence as Greg outlined his plan. The Aegis Valor and its dormant fleet were not merely relics, they were the key to reigniting the flames of rebellion. With the crew's help, Greg intended to awaken the Ghost Fleet and launch a surprise attack on the heart of the Republic. It was a mission fraught with danger, a final, desperate gambit to inspire resistance across the galaxy. The task of reactivating the ship and its robotic army was monumental. Greg, alongside the crew, worked tirelessly, their efforts a blend of engineering prowess and sheer willpower. The Aegis Valor, despite decades of neglect, was a marvel of military technology, its systems coming online with a reluctant groan of machinery long dormant. As the robots, a formidable army designed for a war that never came stirred to life, the scale of Greg's ambition became clear. This was no mere attack, it was a statement, a beacon of defiance in the face of oppression. Greg's strategy was one of guerrilla warfare, striking swiftly and vanishing into the dark recesses of space, hoping to inspire others to take up the cause. The crew of the Phantom's Edge, once mere smugglers and outlaws, found themselves drawn into Greg's orbit, his conviction igniting a spark of rebellion in their hearts. They worked with renewed purpose, knowing that their actions could well change the course of history. As the final preparations were made, and the Aegis Valor stood ready to launch its assault, Greg addressed the crew one last time. "This may be a mission from which we do not return," he admitted, his gaze sweeping over the faces before him. "But in our hearts, the fire of rebellion burns eternal. Let this be our legacy, that we dared to stand against tyranny, no matter the cost." With the fleet awakened and the course set, the Phantom's Edge and the Aegis Valor readied themselves for the journey to the Republic's capital. The Ghost Fleet, once a forgotten relic of a defeated rebellion, now stood as a testament to the undying spirit of resistance. As they set off into the void, Greg allowed himself a moment of reflection. The past and present melded into a single, unbreakable resolve. This was his final stand, a blow struck not just against the Republic, but for all those who yearned for freedom in the shadow of tyranny. The stars bore silent witness as the Phantom's Edge and the Aegis Valor, leading its Ghost Fleet, set a course towards the heart of the People's Republic of Free Worlds. The capital world loomed in the distance, a symbol of the oppression and fear that had gripped the galaxy for decades. For Greg, this was the culmination of a lifetime struggle, a final act of defiance that would either ignite the flames of rebellion anew or extinguish his spark forever. The crew of the Phantom's Edge, under Rena's steadfast leadership, had become more than mere passengers or hired hands. They were comrades in arms, united by a cause that had grown larger than any of them had anticipated. Greg's resolve, his unyielding desire for freedom, had inspired them, transforming their journey into a crusade against tyranny. As they approached the Republic's capital, the reality of their mission settled in. This was not a battle they were expected to survive. Their objective was to deliver a crippling blow to the Republic's military infrastructure, to demonstrate that even the mightiest regime could be challenged. Greg, alongside the robotic army of the Aegis Valor, would spearhead the assault, while the Phantom's Edge and its crew would stand ready to spread the word of their stand, ensuring their sacrifice would not be forgotten. In the hours before the attack, Greg took a moment to address Rena, and her crew for the last time. His voice, though weathered by age and battle, carried an unwavering strength. "What we do today is not for glory, or for victory in the traditional sense," he said, his eyes reflecting the stars themselves. "It is to show that hope cannot be extinguished, that the spirit of rebellion will always find a way to rise from the ashes. You have all shown incredible courage by standing with me. Now, I ask you to carry our message forward. Let the galaxy know that we fought, not just for ourselves, but for all those silenced by the Republic." Rena, her expression a mix of determination and sorrow, nodded. "We'll make sure they hear, Greg. Your story won't end here, no matter what happens." With the final preparations complete, the Aegis Valor and its fleet emerged from the shadows, their approach towards the capital swift and silent. The Republic's defenses, caught off guard by the sudden and unexpected assault, scrambled to respond. The battle was a maelstrom of light and fury, as the robotic soldiers of the Aegis Valor clashed with the Republic's forces. Greg, at the helm of the operation, directed the assault with a tactician's precision and a rebel's passion. Each maneuver, each strike, was a testament to his decades of resistance, a blow struck against the oppressors who had sought to crush the spirit of the galaxy. As the Phantom's edge hung back, recording the battle and preparing to broadcast it across the stars, Greg knew that this was his final stand. The outcome of the fight was uncertain, but its purpose was clear: to inspire, to ignite, and to remind the galaxy that freedom was worth fighting for. In the final moments, as the Aegis Valor and its fleet delivered their devastating attack on the Republic's military installations, Greg allowed himself a brief smile. This was his legacy, a beacon of hope and defiance in the face of darkness. As the ship and its robotic army continued their relentless assault, Greg's thoughts turned to those who would hear of this battle, those who would be inspired to stand up against the Republic. Thank you so much for listening to this story. Please be sure to subscribe to hear more stories like this, and drop us a like too if you enjoyed it.